Cosmetic surgeon Dr. Lovechild was a flower child in his heyday. That part of him never really left him and seems to make an appearance every now and then. Your 2 o'clock Miss Sandra is here.
Oh man, take down the wind chimes and blow out the incense, quick.
Hello doctor, how are you? I've come for my monthly consultation and you'll be happy to know that I have lots of stuff for you to work on this month.
Hello Sandra, great to see you. My God, you're looking sensational today, as per usual.
Thank you. So, I have these magazine cutouts and I'd like to replicate a few looks.
Okay, Kim Kardashian's jawline and bottom. Gosh, that's quite a role model to have. Shallow, narcissistic also. Most of the end product is due to makeup and contouring.
Sorry?
Oh, nothing.
And Gigi Hadid's thighs. If you can possibly make me a few inches taller, that would be great.
And that's professional photography plus airbrushing.
What was that?
Nothing. Did I mention you look great today?
Yeah, whatever. So, I'm looking to get this done in time for my trip to Cannes. I'm thinking the healing time will be around a month, so I'll have to get it done in the next 2 weeks.
It's actually 2 months and you won't be able to eat solid foods for 3 weeks.
Wasn't planning on eating much anyway.
Huh?
Nothing you were saying?
Yeah, well, as I said, you won't be able to eat solid food for 3 weeks, and when the surgical staples come out, the pain will be absolutely excruciating, like unbearably painful. You will cry every day, and there are so many risks and possible bad side effects, and on top of that, you might not be happy with the results, and that, my dear, would be devastating. Look, Sandra, you should really just work with what you've got. You have a great jawline, you want it thinner, you can contour. Thinner thighs, you can work out. Have you also thought about whether you can deal with the trauma of your before and after pictures getting leaked? Look, that's beside the point. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, why the hell do you want to look like someone else when you're so unique and no one on this planet looks like you? I don't get why everyone wants to be a bloody clone.
Doc?
Yes?
Your toupee sliding off.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't usually get this angry. I just think you should give yourself some time to think this through. You know, if you think this will fill up the vacuum within, it won't. Own your looks with all its flaws, and if you need some help with that, get some therapy. And for God's sake, stop hanging out with those Insta-famous girls. Love yourself before you wreck yourself. Capiche?
Yeah, I suppose self-love is quite important. Hold on. Didn't you get genital reconstructive surgery the other week?
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Mosaic with me, Sarah.
And me, Jenny.
We're a week in March, the month of seasonal transformation with spring approaching. It was also International Women's Day on the 8th, and we hope you supported or took part in a day without a woman, because we certainly didn't, but we were there in spirit. But it looks like it was in full effect in America, and women demonstrated how vital women were to the US economy. They decided to stay at home from work, join rallies, or wore red. So, Jenny, what does International Women's Day look like in Germany?
It looked like any other day, to be honest.
Oh, really?
No marches here, at least none that I'd sort of heard of. But I do feel like, compared to the UK and America, or even Canada, mainland Europe isn't as... I don't want to say as political. They are quite political, but they don't really do the sort of the mass demonstrations kind of thing.
No, not as much, but they do celebrate International Women's Day more than the UK. In Italy, they give out mimosas, those, the yellow flower things.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's quite a big thing there.
Okay.
But in London, I think only one person wished me a happy Internationals Day. So there you go. Don't really care here.
There you go. What did you get?
Oh no, I didn't get anything. They just wished me a happy International Women's Day. I guess
it's a thought that counts.
Yeah, true. I think it was. I think they came up with it in Germany actually in like 1930.
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was the Social Democratic Party or something. A woman that was in that party decided that we needed a day to, celebrate women's rights and put forward our ideas. So yeah, bit of.
I feel like sadly, especially on sort of social platforms like Twitter and Facebook, it should be a day where women and women's rights and how far we've come, that should be celebrated, but also an eye should be kept on how far we still have left to go. But instead it becomes that day where misogynistic comments peak. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I feel like this kind of women have international day
what
when they
about
celebrate it. What about men?
International Day.
I know, it's like you have that as well, you idiots.
It's on the 19th of November.
Apart from that, literally out of 365 days, 364 days are men's days. So just shut up about it.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like, male have the dominant narrative in life.
Yeah.
They have no foot to stand on, literally.
So the moment the focus gets shifted and it's put sort of on women, they just can't stand it.
God forbid.
And I'm like, how scared are you of women that you have to lash out at these simple things?
Exactly. I think particularly men are quite scared of the word feminist because they vision, the radical feminist that's man-hating and thinks that women should be above men, not equal to men. So it triggers a lot of kind of fear for men, I feel.
This reminds me of this comment by Aziz Ansari. He did that in a stand-up where he was like, guys, I don't know if you're aware, but this is how words work. If you believe in equality of the genders, then you're a feminist. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's how word works. You can't.
Exactly. And to be honest, take away the labels, take away, the deep, angry meaning behind it. Just stand up for what's right. That's really what matters. Stand up for, equality. And what's, the fair, just thing to do, really.
Yeah.
Right. So, so this week we're going to get straight into our 5 and 5, and then introduce our topic once we're done. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the game, we ask each other 5 questions related to the podcast theme to kind of get us warmed up and for you guys to know us a bit better.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it also gives us a chance to get to know each other a bit better, even though we've been friends for years. Well, 2 years or something.
I was going to say.
Years.
This one and the past life where we were like twins or something.
Exactly. There's still lots to find out about each other, so it's always fun for both of us.
Exactly. Cool. Do you want to start with your questions?
Yeah. So number 1, if you saw 2 pictures of a woman, the same woman, one of her at 25 and one at 55, which one would you perceive as more beautiful?
Do you know what? I'd have to... Sadly, I'd have to say the 25 because just because I'm aware that it's not necessarily true, but at the same time I'm like, I've been conditioned to think that young is pretty. So she'll probably have like smooth skin and, really amazing complexion and
so a
full
wrinkle
hair.
is tantamount to just ugliness. Or being unattractive, in your opinion?
Okay.
Great question.
I don't think that having wrinkles makes you unattractive, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, the ideal is to have smooth skin. That's what everyone sort of aims towards. That's what everyone wants to have. That's what I want to have as well. I want to have smooth skin. Yeah. So it's weird. I mean, it's. If you look at
you would deal with that as you're getting older and you spot the odd wrinkle. Do you think you'll find that difficult?
No, I would like, because if I sort of look at other people, look at people sort of, especially in the media. There's 2 things. You do get more women in important roles. You do get older women as well, but you do get these women as mothers or as grandmothers, or you get them as lawyers or doctors or CEOs, but you rarely have them in sort of romantic roles. They're rarely an object of desire.
Yeah, that's true.
So that sort of, I guess I have subconsciously internalized that idea. But then if I sort of look at celebrities, older women, I do tend to prefer the ones who age gracefully. Like if you look at sort of Viola Davis or Meryl Streep or Judi Dench, that I find that much prettier than someone who's...
How old is Viola Davis, by the way? She doesn't look like she's middle-aged. She looks about...
What's middle-aged?
Middle-aged is, I think, 45 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Viola Davis is 40 something. Let me look that up.
In her very early 40s, like just turned 40 or something.
Really? Because she's been working for... Bloody hell, she's 51, bruv.
No.
She's 51. Oh my god. That woman. Yeah, okay, so I've got a new crush. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, if I sort of, look at these women, like, you know, the ones I mentioned before, like Meryl Streep and Viola Davis and Judi Dench and Helen Mirren, these are women who look naturally and they age gracefully. You can tell that they're old.
Yeah.
But that's fine because they own it. But if I sort of look at other women, I don't want to name anyone, where you can clearly tell they can't use a muscle because they're full of Botox. They have the same facial expression where they're scared or they're happy. It's kind of, yeah.
It's a bit disturbing seeing that.
Like, no judgment, you know. I mean, if that's how you feel comfortable and that's how you want to look and you feel comfortable in your skin, but then go for it. But for me, I find natural beauty more appealing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, when I think about getting wrinkles, it doesn't worry me as much anymore because I feel as I'm getting older, I'm getting more confident in a weird way.
Yeah.
So I feel that when I do eventually get those wrinkles, I'll be in a place where I'm just...
You can embrace them.
So above insecurity, and I'll be ready to embrace them. So it doesn't worry me much. I mean, when I was younger, I was like, God forbid I get wrinkles at like 30. Oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it now. I'm more comfortable and I'm more kind of tranquil about that prospect.
I noticed, I think I started having my first white hair when I was like about a year ago. So I've got now about 3 white hair at the sort of...
How did that feel, getting the first one?
It was kind of shock, but in my family, my cousins, who are much younger than me, they had white hair, even like they had white hair in their teens. So you know how for some people it runs in the family, it's like it's hereditary.
Yeah.
So it never bothered me, and like obviously my mom's got white hair, and I don't know, it never sort of, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna pluck it out. I haven't plucked it out. I haven't cut the hair. I haven't dyed it. It's there. My mum asked me to dye it because obviously, you know, I'm unmarried. Whatever. No one's gonna marry someone if they see your white hair. That kind of thinking. But I was like, you know what? F it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, you've always owned it, I think. Because I think I spotted it before, and you were like, yep, it's there. And
yeah, like it's, you know, I'm 80. No, I'm not 82. I'm 28.
Are you not telling me something?
Yeah, I'm doing the Benjamin Button. I'm aging backwards. I've never been one to have sort of a problem with age. Like, you know, I've always owned my age. But that's probably also because I don't look my age, so I feel quite comfortable in that. But yeah, I've never really had a problem with growing old.
Well, that's good. That's a good place to be. It's healthy. Okay, next one. So do you find that what your mum or anyone older than you in your life finds attractive in a man is wildly different to your taste, and why do you think that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so you can literally ask any South Indian Sri Lankan girl and she will give you the exact same answer as I will. There's this thing with South Indian Tamil men, Sri Lankan men, that, especially sort of my dad's generation and above, they all have this moustache.
Okay, what kind of moustache?
It's not a full beard. It's just this one, like a really full moustache. I think it's called like a chevron.
It's not like a handlebar beard, is it?
Oh no.
Like the Starsky and Hutch thing.
No. Would that be more off-putting? That'd probably be more off-putting. This is imagine.
Would you date a guy that has a handlebar beard? Moustache thing going on. That's so 70s.
I'm telling you, bro, I've been so traumatized by men with moustaches. I can't see them as anything but like father, uncle
Dad
figures.
and uncle.
It's just so. Imagine Freddie Mercury, like, you know that bit he rocked, the moustache he rocked.
Yeah.
That's the one. But in black, jet black, and
gosh.
it's just so, I don't know what it is. Luckily it's sort of no one in my generation. It kind of that trend sort of stopped with our dads.
But having said that, I do like a beard. I don't.
Oh, a beard? Yes, I don't mind a beard, but a moustache, don't. I run.
Moustache is another story. Okay, next one. Has plastic surgery ever been an option to you, or minor surgeries like scar removal, spot removal, or even teeth adjustment?
Yeah, they have.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It
Which one in
still
particular?
kind of is. The other one that I get if I have like shitloads of money, if I make like, you know, if I won the lottery or something, which is breast reduction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not for
talk
medical.
about that
It's
one,
not.
why?
It's not for medical reasons. It's not that I've got back pain or anything, but it is something that's always irked me. I don't know. It's
How
not.
come?
I don't know. It's
don't
just
have a
little
good
things. Like
booty.
I can't even run for the bus without support them with my hands, which is just so embarrassing
Yeah.
to do that. So I never run for buses, and which is why I'm always late. So next time I'm late to anything, don't blame me. Blame me
the
boobs.
boobs, the big badonkadonks. But no, I think it's fine. I think they're great assets to have. A lot of, you know, but I guess, you know, a lot of people want what they can't have, and
Exactly,
people on the other side that
yeah.
have like a big arse and no boobs, and they
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
the other way. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So next one, have you ever found anything about a man's grooming routine surprising or shocking or weird?
I don't know if surprising or shocking or weird is the right term, but I always find it somewhat off-putting when I see guys with like perfect eyebrows, or even like when they have
really?
like you know those guys. It tends to be sort of Asians, South Asian and Middle Eastern men who have this really like sharp beard with like a sharp line. I find that a bit, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, if you, you know, if that's how you feel good about yourself and you like the way you look at, then that's cool. But it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I prefer the scruffy look as well, especially when the eyebrows are so like jet black and they're so perfectly shaped.
Yeah,
the
it's
beard
okay to
match
clean it up. I know quite a lot of people who clean it up, but it still looks natural, so it's cool, whatever. But
Yeah,
if it looks sort of like, you know, like a perfect arch, it's just, no, like something about it is just...
A lot of Italian guys do it, and then they take too much away from the middle bit, so it just looks too wide, like the gap in the middle. Do you know what I mean? And it looks odd, because they always say that the beginning bit of your brow should be in line with the top of your nose. So they really kind of, I don't know, go overboard with the plucking, and it looks so
Oh, really?
wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Okay, so number 5. Do you have a beauty mantra or affirmation?
No.
Okay.
I think you know this about me, that I don't tend to be too much in touch with my feelings. So we just get at a distance, so I don't really acknowledge these things. I don't really sort of stand there and sort of give myself
Have conversations with yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No.
I mean, I think if you asked me a year ago, I would be like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But I've seen how having a kinder internal voice does help people change the way they see themselves in a positive way. So I've given it a shot myself, along with meditation.
Yeah. You started doing that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's really contributed to me being a lot more confident, being able to express myself a lot better, and just generally being nicer to people as well. I used to be pretty grumpy, but now I just take everything a lot more lightly. And
Being nicer to yourself has helped you being nicer to others?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because when you're more compassionate and kinder to yourself, you know, you start to understand
true.
people a lot more.
Yeah, that's true.
And someone said to me, this is just random, to have more empathy, picture someone as a child, like picture the child in them, and then you start to kind of have more empathy for them, because you think, okay, this is...
Yeah, you wouldn't treat kids a certain way, so yeah.
Yeah, and they've probably been through a lot that they didn't really ask for, they didn't warrant. And, you know, just, it's good to be kind, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I feel like you're so much more in touch with these kind of things, like with yourself, than I am. Like, you are quite sort of spiritual,
I'm
and
quite
you
in
do,
tune.
yeah. Which I'm just not.
That is.
All right, my questioning.
Go for it.
So for the first question, let me give you a bit of an explanation first. So this is I watched quite a while ago. I watched this film called The Beauty Inside, and it's basically the story of a man who's got a medical condition where he wakes up every day in a different body. So one day he'd be like a young teenager, a man. So he's initially a man, like I suppose his soul, if you want to call it that, is male. And you know, sometimes he wakes up as a young man. The other day he's a really old man. The other day he's a little child. The other day he's a woman. So each day he wakes up in a different body, and you know, along the way he falls in love with a woman. And it's sort of the story of how that happens, how they sort of work that out. But if you were to meet someone with that condition, if you met someone and they woke up in a different body each day, looked different, sometimes they'd be handsome, so you could date like a model. One day, but the other day you might end up with someone like quite old, or someone, you know, not that good looking, quite guy. Yeah. So would you go into that thinking like, you know, he might be my soulmate, so I'm going to give it a shot? Would you just be like, you know what, this is too much trouble for me, this is bad juju, I'm going to stay away?
Bad juju. I think that would be really challenging, to be honest. I mean, waking up to just someone completely different every day would be so strange. I don't think I could deal with the inconsistency of it, and
like
also,
the inside, like there's still the same person, like they've got the memory, like it's still they just look different.
No, but that's what I mean. I feel like attraction has so much to do with appearance, and you build memories with that face and, you know, that body. That's as true. Well. Like it's something that is definitely merged into the memories and the love that you have with that person. It's kind of like an iconography thing, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the love story of da-da-da-da. I'm thinking of it really romantically and artistically, but you know what I mean? And
I know what you mean, yeah.
It's
these
dynamic.
hands that, yeah. No, I understand, I completely understand.
I mean, it would be kind of crazy waking up to, you know, like a man with a really saggy bum. I have to tell you this. Okay, there's an episode of Sex and the City, and there's basically this character called Samantha, and she's a massive man-eater. She met this guy who, funnily enough, was Donald Trump's friend in the episode. Anyways, that's another story. But he was around 17. He was like this really famous tycoon making lots of money. And she thought, okay, maybe I can date an older guy. So there was this scene, and they were in the dark, and they were kissing, and it was her decision to switch the light off. And while they were kissing, she was thinking, oh, you know, he kisses like a young man. He feels, you know, he's touching me like a young man. It feels the same. And then there was a bit where he stepped out into the light, and she just saw his saggy bum. And she was like, no, this is too much. She just literally flew out of the apartment. She was like, no, I'm drawing a line here. But yeah, I mean, I would be willing to give it a try, because obviously, maybe was his voice the same? Because I think I could work with the voice being the same and nothing else being the same, maybe, and just put a blanket over his head and it's him there, even though it's a 5-year-old
that's
girl.
Hilarious. All right, moving on to the next one. If a fairy or a genie were to appear and tell you that she or he will change one physical future for free, what would it be?
Oh, it's getting a bit deep now. Honestly, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm honestly at a place where I'm just happy with my physical flaws, my inner flaws, and I like the person I am. I like the person I am. I mean, hold on. If you asked me 5 years ago, that would have been a different story. Obviously, I didn't know myself as well as I do now, and the way you perceive yourself, it is quite a tumultuous journey, you know, the journey of self-love or whatever. But now that, you know, when you grow up, you meet such a wide range of people, and you identify your uniqueness, and that gives you power, and you're like, I would not change me for the world. Cheesy, but true.
Bless.
But if I had to pick something, it might be just my PMSing.
Which is not a physical feature, so you still pass the test. That's pretty good to be in a position to say, you know what, I'm 100% confident and comfortable in my skin with all the marks and all the flaws and
Yeah, F it. Obviously, I'm aware of my flaws and I like them. You know, I don't mind them.
bless.
I'm cool with them. So yeah.
Next one. Have you ever been shamed for the way you look, or have you ever witnessed someone being bullied, or have you ever been the bully?
No, I've never been shamed for the way I look. At school, there was a girl who was picked on. I know this is quite bad, but she basically was overweight, and she had a monobrow, and it was quite sad. People picked on her a bit, and to make matters worse, we went on this trip to the Isle of Wight, and she got head-butted by a pregnant cow.
Oh. What the? Are you making this up? How can you be head-butted by a cow?
It was so bad. We all started running, and the cow was just like, it had seen red. It wanted us dead, and she obviously wasn't running as fast as the rest of us. And she got caught up in it, and it head-butted her.
So what? Like the cow's head in her bum or something?
It was in her back. But
Oh my God.
obviously she never heard the end of it after that, and someone made up a song about her.
Oh my
And-
God!
Yeah, and basically...
Did you write the song? Sarah, did you write the song?
I swear I didn't write the song. I am not that mean, okay? But basically she also used to have quite a few panic attacks. Well, not panic attacks, I think it was asthma attacks, but people used to say that she made it up. So this girl made up a song, but she's probably stunning now. She's probably really grown into her looks, lost the weight. So that's always the way it goes after.
God, I
people
really
get
hope that
picked
she's
on
doing really,
grow up.
really well, and that she's really sort of found her inner peace, and she's sort of, happy with who she is.
She had a lot of friends
bless her.
actually, so it wasn't that bad.
But I always feel like that people who are bullied in school, they come out stronger.
Yeah,
Like the bullies, I've never heard of a story where a bully comes out and he's like really successful, because that sort of mentality that never leads you to success, leads you to a happy life. Whereas
the bullies
people
are
who've
always-
sort of been through hardships, they get stronger and they get more confident, and they learn to sort of love themselves.
That's true. That's true.
So hopefully
On the
she's in a
topic
good place.
of monobrows and body hair, how do you feel about body hair on women? Just briefly.
I don't mind. I remove mine, but if women choose to not shave their armpits or their legs, then that's absolutely effing fine.
I mean, the monobrow thing, I've seen a girl recently on Instagram who's quite Insta famous or whatever, and she rocks the monobrow and she looks absolutely stunning, and she's
I
been
know quite
signed
a lot
by-
of people with monobrows who are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, really?
I never understood why the monobrow is something that's supposed to be not good looking. I've never understood. Like, even if you look at Frida Kahlo, she had a monobrow. She was beautiful.
Yeah, she really was.
There's
She
this
didn't
Indian
have any issues getting guys as well. She was enjoying her life, so yeah.
Yeah, there's this Indian actress called Kajol, who does have a monobrow, and she's considered one of the most beautiful actresses in the country.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I've never really understood the idea of sort of monobrows being equal to unattractiveness. But I suppose it's sort of in this world where we have a very Eurocentric beauty standards. Most Caucasians don't have a monobrow, so it is something other. Like it looks different.
Yeah, it does. When I see it, takes me back a bit. I'm like, whoa, oh wow, that's a different look. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that people are rocking it. Personally, I like to pluck my eyebrows.
Do you naturally have monobrows?
No, I don't. But my hairs are pretty fine, anyways. Yeah, I do pluck the hairs that pop out there, and other extra
Yeah, me
hairs.
too. I get rid of my moustache and stuff as well. Moving on. Next question. Do you think you're pretty?
Oh, okay, that's very direct. Yeah, I do.
Would you describe yourself as pretty? Like, do you think that you're attractive?
Yeah, I do. I feel
Good.
comfortable in saying that now. I mean, as I said before, a year ago, I would have cringed at that and
Yeah.
said, no, I don't know, maybe people find me attractive, but
Yeah.
I find myself, I might not be attracted to some people, but I might be attracted to other people, and that's fine. I accept that completely.
Yeah. No, but do you, like, yourself think that you're pretty? And I think there's a lot of stigma attached to owning that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's
There
so
is.
full of herself. How dare she think that she's pretty? F it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty. What? So what? Like, it's such a good thing to sort of acknowledge that.
I think it's a UK thing as well, where girls, I don't know, it's good to be humble and modest.
Yeah,
and
like
kind of
it's not just looks wise,
self-deprecating.
but Brits like to be sort of
Yeah.
self-deprecating.
Definitely.
You know, you're never good enough. Yeah. I get that, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, part 2 of the question. So if you had to give up one thing, either your good looks or your sense of humour, your personality, just sort of the person you are, that fun person who you are that sort of attracts people, what would you give up? Would you rather be pretty or would you rather be boring?
I think I would just find that so hard to decide, because getting rid of one aspect of me wouldn't make me me.
Yeah, but if you had
mean-
to choose one.
You're really trying to make me speak negativity into existence, aren't you? Damn you. Okay, so, all right. I mean, obviously all my attributes are equally important to me, but if I had to choose one, I can tell you that I wouldn't forfeit my sense of humour. And, I mean, you saying, pretty people probably have have it easier. They probably have a boring time, pretty boring people anyways, because I have a great time on my own just because I humour myself. And I just sit there
Just have a conversation with your mirror. Oh, Sarah, you're hilarious.
No, not like that, but I start to think of really funny situations or funny memories and conversations I've had with my
I know
best
what you
friends.
mean, yeah.
And I just start having a really good laugh, and I have a great time on my own, and I like entertaining myself,
Yeah.
if I do say so myself. Like, I just...
You're good company to yourself.
Yeah, so I guess I wouldn't give up my sense of humour. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if you're boring and pretty, you just have your face to entertain you, don't you?
That's true, and you're going to lose that at some point as well, so yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Cool. Next one. Last one. If you could swap appearances with one person for a day, who would it be? Would you, and if you could choose, would you go, in quotation marks, uglier, or would you go prettier, and who would it be?
Okay, I think I'd want to be a good-looking man for a day. Just to
really?
see, yeah, I'd like to see if they get the same reactions that women do, and I wonder if they get sexually harassed and wolf whistles, and I would like to see how that would make
Also,
me
you
feel.
want to experiment a little?
Oh, yeah,
see?
a little social experiment. Not in that way.
No, I didn't mean
so
social experiment, bruv. I didn't mean social
Oh,
experiment.
saucy.
Okay, interesting. But do you have a particular person in mind, or is it just any good-looking bloke?
Let me think of a good-looking guy, as in a celebrity or someone.
Yeah,
we know.
celebrity, a writer, a celebrity, a singer. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to be David Gandy. I think he's beautiful. He is so stunning.
Is he the model for Marks and Spencer, the one in underwear?
I think so, yeah. He models for D&G, and he did this advert on
really?
a yacht in Italy in the Mediterranean
Shut
Sea.
up! That's your
and-
type.
oh
I never would have guessed that he's your
Oh
type.
no, I'm not saying it's my type, but I'm just saying he's like the epitome of male beauty. So
Is he?
I think he is. He's stunning. I hope we
Fair
have
enough.
the same person in mind, not Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh well
I'm
then.
shocked.
I know who you mean. Like he's quite
Okay.
sort of like bronze. I know who you mean, but I don't.
An
He's
Italian stud.
yeah, exactly. But that's just so not my type. Like so not my type. See, we do learn about each other during these
Yeah.
games. Okay, so that pretty much brings on to sort of and sort of
And,
about
I'm sure
today's
you've
topic.
guessed by now that we're talking about beauty, the perception of beauty, and different aspects of it across the world. I mean, obviously, as we're talking about the definition of beauty and how different that is for both of us, naturally people have their various likes and dislikes, which consequently affects our individual definition. So I came across this phrase, let me know what you think, and it says, perception of beauty is in the eye of the beholder rather than beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so perception being the key word. So obviously, I feel that beauty is subjective and malleable to our surroundings.
So
What do you have
beauty
to
is
say about
something
that?
that's and beauty is something that's fixed.
No, it's not. So perception is something that we can definitely is malleable to our surroundings, our upbringings, and do you feel like it changes if you're, you know, brought up in a different place, or if you're brought up by your parents in a different way? What do you think affects that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at sort of historically or globally, if you look at the world, each culture, each country, each time, each era has its different beauty standards, its different definition of beauty. Absolutely. So I do think, and even sort of looking at, you know, the thing I told you about the moustache of sort of the South Indian, the Sri Lankan man, that's, you know, that's something, we come from the same culture, but due to age or you know, Western influences, whatever it is, we just have completely different ideas of what's handsome and what isn't.
Definitely, yeah.
So I think that it's very fluid.
It
term,
really
beauty.
is. I mean, personally, when I look at myself through pictures, it definitely changed, A, with age, and B, with the country that I lived in.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously when I was living in Dubai, a lot of makeup was the norm there. You know, a lot of makeup, a lot of glitzy clothes. And that might have been also the year that it was, so it was, you know, 2009-ish, so the fashion was obviously different. But then if you compare it to the young people in London at the time, the look was a lot more natural, thicker eyebrows as well. I used to rock really thin eyebrows in Dubai, so that changed as well.
Sorrow, thin eyebrows, okay. Yeah, I know, but you sort of go back to your teenage years and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I wore this. I can't believe I did that to my face. I also went to a phase where I had like quite thin eyebrows.
How old are you?
I was about 13, 14.
Okay, I feel like that's the standard age to have awful eyebrows.
To have like fashion faux pas and be a fashion terrorist.
Terrorist.
And you know that I can't believe that I actually owned them at some point. Do you remember those boots with like those heels with really pointy fronts? Oh my God, I loved those shoes. They were so precious to me. But now thinking back, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, they sound atrocious. You know, I remember my friend saying that she hates kitten heels. She's like, there's nothing worse than kitten heels. I'm like, leave kitten heels alone. Like, there's a time and place to wear them, and I think they're absolutely fine. But I think that, it sounds like something you just look back at and think, oh God, why did I wear that?
What? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I came across this thing which I found pretty interesting, talking about the definition of beauty and, you know, how we define it, how we see it. So this plastic surgeon came up with a quotient. So he said, it is my assertion that each woman has a beauty quotient or classification. So this quotient is made up of 3 distinct categories: physical health, psychological health, and personal appearance. So for physical health, he says it consists of bodily characteristics that define a woman's beauty, and trust me, each and every woman has physical characteristics that are truly beautiful. A woman's face or body can be structurally imperfect but still exquisite. Haven't heard that word in ages. Psychological health, so it involves one's personality, intelligence, sensitivity and warmth, sense of humour, attitude and overall level of confidence. And lastly, personal appearance, which includes your beauty routine. This involves habits regarding skincare regimen, hair and makeup routines, wardrobe, posture and style. So what do you think of that? Do you agree or disagree?
So does he say that it differs for each individual?
Yeah, but he's saying these are the 3 main factors that make up the beauty of a woman.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's I think there's a difference between being pretty and being attractive. Because pretty to me just means you look good in a picture. That's it. You just have nice facial features and bodily features. But being attractive, I think, is much more than that. It's the kind of person you are. It's the sense of humour that you have. I've been attracted to people that are maybe not a 10 on 10, but I'm still attracted to them because they're funny, or they're charming, or they're really nice. They're clever.
On the other hand, you get really, really attractive people who are just so plain.
Yeah, they just leave you so unimpressed because they just it's like talking to a wall.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But then it's also like if they take care of themselves, if you feel like, you know, they're quite confident, they take care of themselves, they care about what they look and what kind of image they represent, that plays quite an important role as well.
Yeah, it does.
As long as it doesn't go overboard.
Yeah, I don't like that. Just a balance of either just wear the scruffy look or just, you know, I don't know, just be natural, basically.
Exactly.
And plastic surgeons say that as well. They're always like, don't go too far away from your natural look if you decide to, you know, enhance anything. To end this off, he said, it is a combination of physical and mental elements from these three categories that define a woman's beauty. A woman may raise her beauty quotient significantly by simply tweaking various elements within these categories. So a combination of intangibles can make a woman beautiful. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I mean, you can, as we said before, you can really transform how you see people how people see you, by just working on your, you know, intelligence, warmth, personality, sense of humour. So yeah, that was an interesting one for me too.
That's true. The thing about plastic surgery, like for me, I have to say, when I think of plastic surgery, I always think of sort of, you know, those typical Hollywood ladies, sort of orange looking, really thin with their green smoothies, sort of going for a run with their little chihuahuas.
The LA life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's sort of what I have in mind. Which is probably quite unfair and quite remote, very far from the truth.
I feel that the face of plastic surgery has changed massively, and also the fact that we've changed the vernacular from plastic surgery to cosmetic surgery, and just I feel like that reflects how it's become so much more accessible.
That's true.
And that has a lot to do with social media and cosmetic surgeons actually promoting on social media.
Yeah.
And it has become a lot more mainstream.
And that's true, yeah, that is actually quite true.
And you see a lot of people that actually, like just normal people that have nose fillers and lip fillers, like in London, just walking around in the city.
Yeah, like not just actors and models, but just like your average Jane and Joe, yeah. I read it was on Jezebel, so I don't know how true it is, but according to Jezebel, South Korea has the highest worldwide per capita rate of plastic surgeries.
I've heard that as well, actually.
That's quite interesting.
Really
so that's 1 out of 5 women apparently in Seoul alone have undergone some form of plastic surgery, which is quite shocking, isn't it? If this is true, then this is just really, really sad state of affairs.
Yeah, that is. I read about that as well, actually. I didn't know that was the case at all. Maybe because it's quite undercover. And is it subtle surgery?
It includes stuff like getting like your jawline and changing your face line, getting it more chiseled, or getting procedures to make your eyes look bigger. But it's also somewhat smaller procedures like getting like double eyelid surgery, which is quite common.
Oh yeah. Have you heard of knee surgery, by the way, to make you taller? So people get their knees redone so that they're a few inches taller.
So they put something into your knee?
I don't know how it works, but I guess so,
hell.
yeah. I know, very extreme. Very.
Whoa. Wow. Surely that must be quite bad for you.
Oh yeah. I think obviously in the long term you'd have some kind of health issues linked to that. Italy has a massive issue with plastic surgery. Yeah, so growing up I always watch TV with these women that would just so much surgery. Lip fillers are a really popular one, and then like cheekbone fillers as well. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that there's a lot of pressure in Italy for women to look really good.
Yeah.
I think they spend about £9 billion on the beauty product sector. And yeah.
Well, and this is like your average woman, is it? Or is it like the rich kind of housewife type thing?
I think it started with the rich celebrities on TV, and now obviously as it is more accessible, you see it a lot on the street. And women love fur coats as well, and they just go all out. I mean, I think it probably has a lot to do with everyone thinking that Italian women are beautiful.
So they have like
pressure.
International pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you have, idols, iconic women like Sophia Loren.
Yeah, exactly.
And oh my God, I have to say something about Sophia Loren. Have you seen her recently?
She looks a bit different, doesn't she?
A bit. Oh my God, I love her.
Going back to what I said earlier, there is something beautiful about women aging gracefully and naturally.
Basically, no, she's done a hell of a lot of plastic surgery, and she's about 90 now, and it was the weirdest experience. I was watching her on TV with my mum, and so she was talking but it was a really old, frail voice, and she could barely move. Like, she did not look healthy, but outside, aesthetically, she looked young. And she'd obviously had all this surgery done, so it just looked like a puppet in a way, with like a different soul. It was the strangest thing ever, and I was like, "There's no cohesion here. It's just it's two different people that I'm seeing and hearing."
Maybe it's like a Sesame Street thing where someone had their hands on a puppet's arse and just moving. That makes me sad.
Yeah, it was sad seeing that.
I just hope that she's happy. I think the worrying thing about stuff like plastic surgery is that it rarely ends with one thing. Like, once you get into Botox, or you do one thing, you get one thing done, it becomes a bit of an addiction, and you're like, oh, okay, now I got this thing. This isn't perfect. Why not change this as well? Oh, and the nose, it could be a bit sharper, it could be a bit smaller, and the lips could be a bit fuller, and it's a never-ending vicious cycle, which is just
That's true. But that's the thing that makes me think, if I lived in LA, and obviously, as we said before, it's natural for you to compare yourself to the people around you, and if I was a celebrity and I had the money to have surgery, would I do it?
That's true.
And I've thought maybe that I highly doubt it, but I think I might.
You never know, because
possibly...
it must be quite difficult to stay strong, if that makes sense, in that environment. Yeah. Where you have so much pressure from everyone to look good, even for a regular person. It must be quite harrowing.
Yeah, especially when you're out maybe and you want to take a group picture, and then you take a picture and you're like, oh my god, my teeth aren't as white as Stacey's, my arse isn't as big as da-da-da, and you start kind of doubting yourself and seeing yourself differently
and picking yourself apart.
Yes, I'm not saying that wouldn't happen to me, or I'm like completely immune to feeling that way. So I get it.
But what I find quite interesting about plastic surgery is sort of shows us how each culture has a different standard. In East Asian cultures, you get a double eyelid, because that's what the rest of the world looks like. They have double eyelids, so they want to have that. In the West, it might be more popular to get bigger breasts. And it's interesting how each culture has each standards that they sort of
definitely
want to achieve. For me, as a South Asian, one thing that I've always grown up with, that's always been a bit pressure, not for me personally, but sort of seeing people around me, is colorism.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where there's so much pressure. I mean, I think universally there's a lot of pressure on women to look good. So they can be successful, so they can find a man, they can find a job, whichever it is. But I think especially in sort of South Asian culture, Arab culture, there's so much judgment on people who aren't as fair as they can be. So you have these products like Fair & Lovely, which we mentioned last time on the last episode, which is just...
It's a big issue, definitely, and you get that a lot, especially in Sudan and the whole of Africa in general. So I came across this other word for it, which is shadism, and also pigmentocracy, so the race and hierarchy of beauty being classed on your shade. So you see that a lot on Sudanese TV. Women wear really light makeup on their face, and their hands are a lot darker. And I mean, you get it more on the dated TV channels for the older generations, which is sad, because Sudanese women have great skin and hair, and they're actually such natural beauty, so there's no need. But that is something that does happen a lot. And funnily enough, there's also shadism against people who are lighter skinned.
Really?
Yeah, so I found
didn't know
today,
that.
actually. It's really strange. So in Sudan, basically my dad sent me a comical sketch about this girl bringing home a potential husband to her dad.
Yeah.
And her dad took out this, it was kind of like, when you get examples of paint when you're planning to paint your house.
Yeah.
So he held this thing up with loads of variations of colours, and every, guy that came to the house, he was like, no, he's too dark. And there was a guy that was Syrian that came, and he was like, no, he's too light-skinned, he looks like a gypsy. Which was weird. But in the end, she ended up marrying the Syrian guy, and he came out with like a Sudanese line in the end, showing that, really doesn't matter, you can be Syrian, but really culturally Sudanese.
I never heard of that. I didn't know that you discriminate against fairer people.
Yeah, it's a first to me as well.
I've always had it sort of, you know, the darker you are, the undesirable you are. The fairer you are, the more fuckable and lovable you are.
I came across this this advert actually for, I don't know if you know this Jamaican dance hall star called Vibes Cartel.
No, never heard of it, no.
So he does, Jamaican dance hall music, and he literally recently came under fire after lightening his skin, and he's come up with this product. He's launching his own range of skin brightening products, including a moisturiser, soaps and fragrances in the Caribbean. So he basically said, I feel comfortable with black people lightening their skin. It's tantamount to white people getting a suntan. And he defended his use of cake soap by saying, when black women stop straightening their hair, wearing wigs and weaves, and when white women stop getting lip and butt injections and implants, then I'll stop using the cake soap and we'll all live naturally ever after.
I don't know what I feel about that. To be honest, I haven't really fully made up my mind about that. Like, I think there were like rumours that Beyonce
Lightened her skin.
Bleached or lightened her skin, and there was like a lot of backlash on that. I don't know what I think about that. I suppose at the end of the day, if she wants to do it, she can do it. I don't really.
Do you think it's fine for someone to bleach their skin and then own it, or do you think that's kind of shameful for their culture, especially as someone who's in the public eye? Is that something they shouldn't promote for someone with such a large following? Do you think that's
No,
dangerous?
I don't really believe in that. I don't think that just because you're in the limelight, you're not allowed to live your life. Like, yeah, I get it. She's an example. She's an idol, and I'm not saying that she did it, but I'm talking about anyone who's in the limelight. I do understand that there are kids who are looking up to you, and that you have to sort of act a certain way. But at the same time, they're not the public's property. They still have their own life. They still have their own definition of beauty. They still have to look themselves in the mirror and be happy with what they see. I don't know. I feel like they should be free to do whatever. And, if they want to own up to it, then they should own up to it. If you don't want your kids to sort of, to be shamed by it, educate your kids. Don't leave it to Beyonce or Rihanna to educate your kids on colorism and shadism.
I agree.
You can't just be lazy and just put all your responsibility on them. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
But do you think it's right for them to do it in the first place? Do you think it's... Because I think that's the root of the issue.
Yeah, I know. I haven't fully made up my mind, to be completely honest with you. I do get the side of the argument that says, they're promoting it, someone in that position, they're saying that, prettier is better looking. I do understand the problematic behind that, I do. But at the same time, I feel like they are unhappy with the way they look. If they look in the mirror and they're just not 100% happy, but they know what the problem is, they know they can change it, I don't see what right we have to deny them that.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think personally, I don't have respect for that.
You don't have respect for that?
No, I just feel like people should embrace how they look. And
yeah.
I mean, if they're having issues like that, they should definitely look into getting some therapy, I think, personally, because I don't see that as normal behaviour, if I'm being completely honest. If you're bleaching your skin and you're getting, surgery to get your different eye colour, for me, that's just too much effort to be something you're not, and that's dangerous.
But to be honest, I would put the blame on society rather than that person who does it, because they are at the end of the day a victim as well. So I think it's wrong to then blame them further.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not black and white to me. It's got so many.
It is. Yeah, it has a lot of layers, but it is quite strange. Especially for, let's say, for example, Beyonce did it. So for a celebrity who celebrates, tells black communities to celebrate their uniqueness,
their blackness,
their culture, and their blackness, and then you do something like that, and it's strange because it's like, okay, so
comes across as hypocritical,
and and also you're surrounding yourself with a lot of people that are black, and you're comparing yourself to what's around you. Why would you? And that is your standard of beauty, what you find around you. So why would it cross your mind to have to do that? Because it does happen a lot you see it in black celebrities, like T.I.'s wife as well. She bleached her skin and she's got like blue eyes now. It's like a permanent surgical procedure that she's had done. So it's quite curious. I wonder where you would get that if your norm is the black standard of beauty. why would you feel like you need to look white in that kind of... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, but who's to say that that's their standard of beauty? Maybe it's quite fluid.
I'm just assuming, just because...
But I think that's where the problematic is, that you sort of, you do end up assuming, and you sort of put thoughts in their heads, which they might not have. They might have their own problem, their own insecurities that they deal with, their own demons to fight. So I'm always quite hesitant about sort of going into that and sort of pointing the finger and like, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have bleached your skin.
Yeah, I mean,
especially like what T.I.'s wife?
Yeah.
What she like, that sounds like she might actually have issues.
Yeah.
It's not coming from a point. Issues.
It's not coming from a point where I'm, looking for someone to point the finger at. I'm just coming out of a place of inquisitiveness. Where does that come from? Why does she not feel happy with her blackness and owning it? Where does that come from? Is it childhood? Is it something that you're socialised into at a young age that you need to unlearn as you grow up, but you don't? I don't know. Like, what is it? I'm just curious.
It is curious, though, isn't it? Yeah. But I think it's a mix of, especially if you're in the limelight, where she's one of the few commercially successful black artists. So I'm sure she does. At the end of the day, she does compare herself to white artists. She must. At some point, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that is a possibility, actually. I mean, okay, so let's talk a bit about the media influence and social media. So do you think that self-esteem issues are triggered solely by the media and social media? I mean, do you think we'd be less insecure without social media?
Well, I wouldn't, because I'm of an older generation where I wasn't a teenager when social media came into my life.
Thank the Lord.
I was I'm not going to say I was fully grown up and mature, because I'm still not fully grown up and mature, but I was at a more secure place when I started using Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, when I started to see skinny white girls on Instagram posing in bikinis. But at the same time, if you're 12, 13, 14 and that's what you see everywhere, that must be quite harrowing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely pretty dangerous for this generation.
Yeah,
so.
But I don't want to take the evilness away from social media and that the impact that it has. But I think every generation has their own devil and their own demons. Because I grew up being shamed and bullied by family, and a lot of people in my culture are or were.
About what?
Just about the way we look, the colour of our skin, our body weight. It's just like casual quips. I think fat shaming, especially in South Asian culture, is such a big thing.
Oh, really?
And it's very casual. Like, when you meet relatives after a short while, there's always a casual comment. Oh, someone's put on a little bit of weight.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I always thought with maybe South Asian culture that the voluptuous body was quite a positive thing to have, or am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're supposed to be, but you're supposed to be sort of fit but curvy. So you have the right curves, if that makes sense. You've got a nice bum, you've got full breasts, but you still have a flat stomach. Does that make sense? Like, you're quite fit. Like, imagine sort of Scarlett Johansson type, that kind of body. But you're not supposed to have a tummy. You're not supposed to be fat. Because you still need to get married, we still need to marry you off, you still need to get a good proposal, you're still supposed to be pretty. So you do have those quips, which are, these kind of jokes that are taken very casually, and they don't necessarily mean to hurt you in any way. I'm not saying that the aunties and uncles in my life, they want to hurt me, they mean harm. But it is something that has affected me. Like, it is little things, I suppose, but when you do go to a function, it's like, oh, you look fat. And it's like,
oh, no way.
Whoa.
So did that ever manifest itself in, like, extreme dieting, food obsession, bulimia, anorexia?
Not with me, but I know quite a few people in my background who've either, they have, or they're still, dealing with certain disorders, eating disorders, or, a friend of mine, she's really, really pretty, but she's darker skinned. So she got her skin bleached because she got those kind of comments.
Oh my God.
And like I've learned to sort of not care about these comments and sort of be above that all.
Yeah.
And when I get these comments, I just roll my eyes and just move on with my life. But obviously everyone has their dark days, so those comments still haunt me on my dark days.
No, it's weird. It's funny how comments really stick with you, especially when you're feeling really low and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And
it reminds me of this one poem that I stumbled across by this poet called Maggie Royer. It goes something like, on your worst days, do not look in the mirror and call yourself pretty. Call yourself trying, call yourself surviving, call yourself learning how to get through a day, a week, a month, or a year. Call yourself still learning. And I find that quite true, because you're not pretty every day, and it's wrong to expect everyone to feel pretty about themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be happy with who you are, but everyone has their dark days, their dark moments where you hate yourself, you hate the way you look. Sadly, you do. And it's just about survival, and it's these days where all those comments do come back to, so and you sort of realise that subconsciously you did memorise them. A plant was heated.
yeah, it seeped in.
Yeah.
It is a massive journey, isn't it? Constantly trying to, find a happy medium of where you are happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And even for me, it was definitely a journey for me to get there.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it is fine if you have days where you don't feel your best. Don't be
Exactly,
harsh on yourself,
yeah.
and don't feel super anxious to get over it, because it takes time.
Absolutely,
and resilience
yeah.
and patience.
Exactly. I'm sure even the best of us, even the prettiest of us, the smartest of us, they have their dark days. They feel insecure.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong about it. Like, we are human beings. We do evolve, we change, and we grow. And part of that growing are the good times, but also the bad times. I think we should embrace that and just sort of, be more honest about it. And there should be more of a discourse around that and sort of accepting, you know what, it's okay to feel ugly. As long as you're the one doing the shaming, if that makes sense. Like, don't let others define who you should look, how you should feel, but be the one to sort of make that decision and control yourself.
I just want to touch on something about social media.
Yes, I interrupted
back
you
to
there.
that. So we were talking about Instagram. I feel that basically Instagram is a hotbed of insecurity, especially for this generation. So we see a lot of images of women that are super lean, super toned, big asses, big boobs. And interestingly, I met a guy that once thought that Khloe Kardashian's bum was real and it was achieved through squats.
Is it not?
No, absolutely not. It is the most ridiculous. Like, the thigh to ass ratio is so off, you can tell that it's fake. And the fact that he said that pissed me off, because it's fair enough for you because you haven't really seen her bum that much, but he's basically looked through her pictures on Instagram and he's thought, yep, that is achievable for the normal girl to just squat her way to get.
Oh my god, wait, he thought that she wasn't born with it, but she made it herself by training?
Yeah. Yeah,
oh my gosh, she was.
For anyone who's seen her bum, it's the most ridiculous statement to make. So
she was born with it. Like, what? Did she get plastic surgery done or something?
Oh yeah. She's had bum fillers.
Did Kim Kardashian get stuff done? Because I know her bum. It's quite a big bum. Was that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and it's made people's rationality a bit slurred and aren't given legitimate facts when it comes to these images.
Yeah.
Even
guys sort of take that idea on.
Yeah, and they think that that's achievable, which is pretty dangerous in my opinion. And I found this campaign from Dove for young people to kind of contextualise what they see in social media. So they say to them, look at the media with a critical eye, use humour to take back control. Remembering airbrushing isn't just about covering spots. Understand image manipulation. Use positive examples. But I was thinking also the fact that we see really lean, muscly girls, is that a reflection of the idea that our women nowadays need to be a lot more stronger, so we need a body to reflect that emotional strength. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because
as women
a lot.
Grow more sort of independent and get more sort of confident, a better position in society, as it were, that they sort of represent their strength emotionally in terms of physique.
Because, you see pictures of Marilyn Monroe, probably a time where, women's rights weren't that progressive, and she's a lot more natural, and, I mean, she obviously probably had body image issues as well, but she was a lot more curvy, and that she didn't have, like, that toned stomach, and it's a completely different image.
That's true. But I think, as mentioned before, I think this is just a phase, because body images and standards of beauty, they change so much over time. We'll probably have this for 10 years, and who knows what we want to look like in what our kids want to look like in 20 years' time. Maybe they colour themselves green or something. Maybe that'll be the new trend.
Talking about new trends, have you seen the new trend of, like, femme beauty? So metrosexual men, or people that class themselves as, binary queer, who do these makeup tutorials.
I've seen I think one or two people who do that on Snapchat and stuff.
What do you think of that?
I think that's cool. I think because we've grown up with the idea that just women can wear makeup, and it's quite, we do have the concept that it's a very feminine thing to do, only girls should do it, but now men are sort of taking that on, and I don't really see the problem with that.
I think makeup companies are trying to commit to greater diversity, male visibility in 2017, so we'll be seeing a lot of maybe men in makeup in our magazines. Is that something that would be quite shocking, do you reckon?
I guess it's people need to get used to it and adjust to it, but I'm sure they'll catch up, because people tend to go with the latest trend, with whatever the mainstream, whatever media is telling you. And if media tells you that that's how men are supposed to look these days, then I'm sure that people will sort of take that on. I mean, I suppose it's quite clever from the marketing people behind that to sort of go, what, we've only got 50% of the world population buying our products. Let's get the whole damn 100%. Yeah.
Imagine that, living in a world where your boyfriend wears as much makeup
as you. Go for it, man. Who knows what the future's going to bring. No. I always thought that makeup is quite a double-edged sword for me. I find it so polarising, because with makeup, there's this really thin line that you have to walk on. You can't wear too much makeup or too little makeup. Because I feel like you're judged for either. If you don't wear any makeup, people tell you that you're not making an effort, you're letting yourself go, you don't care about yourself anymore, you're clearly not interested in meeting any men, you want to be lonely forever, or you're a lesbian, or whatever sort of stupid comment comes out of that. But if you wear too much makeup, you judge for that. You don't look natural, you should embrace your natural beauty, you've got complexes, you're trying to hide what you really look like, or you're a slut, or or that type of rhetoric. So it's a really sort of thin line when it comes to makeup that you have to walk on, or that society tells you to walk on. Another thing which I always found quite interesting is that you do, as we mentioned, you do get judged. Women do get judged for wearing too much or too little makeup. And especially guys tend to sort of take that approach and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't look like this. You should be more. You're just cheating us."
Oh, piss off!
And it's like, but bruv, you're wearing a beard. Like, isn't that initially the same thing? It's even worse, because you're literally hiding half of your face behind hair. How is that not cheating, but me wearing lipstick to just highlight certain features is cheating? Like, I've never sort of
men
got
cheat
that
just
sort of
as much as us.
Double standard.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I read quite a while ago, which I thought was hilarious, or I think I read it on Reddit or something, where one of them was like, how come men don't wear makeup? And this was like a year ago, where the trend wasn't quite there of men doing makeup tutorials online. And so she was like, how come men don't wear makeup? And another person answered, because society never told men that they're not good enough without makeup. It's only women who are brought up thinking that they're not good enough, good looking enough, adequate without makeup, that they're lacking. But
That's
men,
so true.
but
That's
men
so true.
have never had to change themselves to please the female gaze. It was always the other way around, that we had to do everything in our power,
Absolutely.
from dieting to wearing corsets to plastering our face with makeup. So we are pleasing to the male gaze, which I thought was just so true. And I was just like, yes. Preach.
Absolutely. I think especially with women, so much of our worthiness and capabilities of being an accepted
absolutely.
human being lies with beauty.
Yeah, like we
and
have
how
to
we
earn our right to live in a man's world by by sort of doing all these acrobatics, which is mental.
But you know what? F it. Do it for yourself, ladies. Okay, so I have a random little fact about a infamous beauty accessory.
Okay.
So, have you heard of a merkin?
A what?
A merkin, MERKIN.
No, is there anything close to the gherkin?
No.
A
Well,
merkin.
depends if you're a man wearing it. So a merkin is a pubic wig.
What the? Well, for both men and women, like it's like a wig for the private area.
Yeah, basically.
Like a
I mean, I
toupee.
heard about it. Someone told me about it. Yeah, someone told me about it a year ago. And I was like, what the hell is that? And it's basically a pubic wig. So they were actually originally worn by prostitutes after shaving their genitalia. And they're now used as decorative items and erotic devices by both men and women.
Okay.
And they look absolutely ridiculous. You have to Google these.
Okay, wait. I'm just going to let you finish what you're saying, because I've got a lot of questions going on. But yeah, you finish.
Okay, and there's literally on WikiHow, there's a manual on how to attach a merkin, which is absolutely hilarious.
How do you write merkin again? Go M-E...
MERKIN.
Okay, without the G, okay. An artificial covering of hair for the pubic area. Oh god, I'm kind of hesitant to go to the images, so I have to delete my history. Oh,
They can be worn for as long as 3 to 4 days. How gross is that? How do you even glue that on with super glue
Wait.
or double-sided tape?
so many questions. Wow, this is... So, I know people lose hair on their head. Like, I know that. My dad doesn't have a lot of hair on his head. And so people buy toupees, men mostly buy toupees or wigs to cover that up. What do people suffer from, like...
Baldness down below. I think people that wax a lot, eventually the hair stops growing there.
But then you did it so you can have it hairless, so why would you then go and get hair?
It's just to change it up a bit, isn't it? If you want something a bit spicy, you want to be,
But this is
sugar
literally...
spice 1 week.
But this is literally just for that bam chicka bow
That
wow.
area.
No, but
Yeah.
because normal time when you're wearing pants or skirts and dresses, no one's going to see this. This is genuinely just for the bedroom.
Yeah, it is. I guess you can just, spice it up a bit. You have orange ones, cheetah print ones.
I can see that. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, you can go wild with it.
Just go red hair for a day. There's a market for that. There's a bloody market for that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you apply glue to the back and then you wait 20 seconds for it to get tacky.
Okay.
Flip the merkin over so that the mesh side is facing you.
Guys, you have to Google this. There's like further down. I just Googled it, right? And further down, there is
a whole new world out there.
a girl who has like really crazy red black hair. And then there's like a wig thingy, like a merkin, with that same exact crazy hair. It's, oh my god, this is amazing.
Oh. Guys, you can wash it as well. You can wash it.
And comb it and braid it and plait it and just do anything. All right, I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah.
We thought we'd end the show with a nice little poem with a beautiful message. So this is a poem by Rupi Kaur from her collection of poems Milk and Honey.
Okay.
So here goes. When you make love, you try to bury yourself beneath sheets, but the stretch marks you try to hide are proof you've survived. Your breasts are mountains not everyone knows how to climb. The goddess between your legs is the world on their tongue. She makes mouths water. Your femininity is so right, like craters and waterfalls. There are few things on this side of the universe crafted with such excellence. You just so happen to be one of them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love Rupi Kaur. I think she's an absolutely fabulous poet. She's, I love her.
So that's all wrapped up for today. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. If you want to send us your opinions or even stories, feel free to do that by emailing us at mostmosaic@gmail.com or tweet us at most_mosaic. Don't forget to join us next week when we'll be tackling the moral conundrum of monogamy versus polygamy. So thanks for listening, guys, and see you next week.
Bye-bye. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in, guys.